What's happening, dog?
What's up, brother?
How you?
I'm really good.
That's good.
I'm in a sleeveless shirt. I didn't even put a sweatshirt on to come over here.
Woot woot. This is a first. I think this is a first in the history of the Life on 11 podcast today. This is a first.
Is it?
Yes.
What?
We are recording at 2:00 in the afternoon.
That is not true.
Really?
When we had...
Oh, we had Scott.
Yes, when we had Scott on.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
That was a mid-afternoon recording.
Okay, so this is only the second mid-afternoon recording in the history of the Life on 11 podcast.
Yeah, it does feel kind of strange, but...
It does. Desperate times call for desperate measures.
You could be basketballing next week. You
It's
could be
true.
all busy and stuff.
It is. That is 100% true. Trying to get one in before I go. And tonight we have some things going down. Hey, did you know?
Look, you even said tonight.
It's true. Well, no, I mean like later on. Tonight, so
I thought you. Okay, all right. I thought you were messing up saying like tonight.
Hey, did you know as of right now, the Life on 11 podcast, we have 9.5 thousand all-time downloads.
Okay,
that's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
I mean, 9.5 thousand. I mean, it's probably only like 6 people that have downloaded
them all like 6,000 times. No, that math doesn't work out.
Math ain't mathing.
But no, for real.
So thank you for being one of our 9.5 thousand downloads.
Yeah, so right before we started this recording, we were having a little conversation because John over here came up with a name. You know, we joke about the after hours content, like, you know, being funny.
Mm-hmm.
He came up with a name for it.
I did.
Life After 11.
Life After 11.
This will be the paid content. So we're
debating who's
actually going to pay.
Yeah, you asked how many people I thought would pay, and I said confidently 2.
I think it'd be more than 2.
Like 4?
I think we would be surprised.
You think you get to double digits?
It depends how much we're charging. You know, if we're charging like $5, I think people are going to be curious enough to pay $5.
Yeah.
To see what we talk about.
Pretty sure that's...
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
They're saying the exact same stuff they do all the other time.
That's
like
right.
This is not worth $5.
Yeah. Well, you know, if we could get 10 people, we can make enough money to go to lunch a couple times
after we finish losing our 40 pounds.
Yeah. How you feeling? You're looking good.
Well, thank you. I'm feeling really good, actually.
You look good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You look better.
Thank you. Well, I don't know if that's true, but
I didn't weigh this morning, but 20 couple.
Woot, woot.
Somewhere between 22 and 25 is where I'm at.
Good call. You the man. You are the man.
Yep. What about you?
I'm probably in that same range. I haven't weighed in a couple days.
Okay.
But yeah, last night we had a little game night with the kids.
Oh yes,
that was fun. If you've never played the game Codenames, it's highly recommended.
Dude, they really loved that game.
Aiden and Elijah have been already this morning. They're like, "Can we order that game? Like, we have it here." So if you're looking for a game night, looking for a fun game to play.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Honestly, I was like, man, I don't know if they're gonna love this game. We'll play like a round or 2 of it. I mean, I already had a movie queued up to watch. We were gonna watch Soul Surfer, and every time we finished a round, they were like, "Yeah, let's play again. Yeah, let's play again." And like 2 hours later, it's like, "Oh, everybody's parents are here to pick them up."
Yeah, it was a ton of fun.
Yeah, it was cool.
A ton of fun.
Yeah,
ton of fun.
Good time.
Yeah. So good stuff. Good stuff. Well, we're gonna dive in.
Okay, let's do it.
We've been talking about Anabaptist stuff. Today, we're talking about simple living.
Simple.
Anabaptism and simple living.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a convoluted subject.
Especially in today's day and time.
Absolutely.
All the things and all the stuff.
Absolutely.
Sure.
And it's hard because simple living in most people's minds, it's probably like when we see people who are like wearing plain clothes, or, you know, there's still plenty of Anabaptists that wear like, you know, women wear homemade dresses that are, you know, extremely
plain.
That's a great
essentially.
word.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it.
Men will wear, you know, plain suits or, you know, very plain clothing.
Yep.
I still have some friends that preach in plain jackets, like collarless jackets and things like that. And that's probably like, if you say simple living and Anabaptism, that's probably the picture a lot of people get in their brain.
It's probably true. A lot of people probably do picture like either like old order Mennonite dress or Amish dress or old German Baptist Brethren dress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's more than just how you dress.
Absolutely.
And I would argue that you can try to live simply without wearing the old order dressing, garb, and things like that.
Sure.
That's my thought.
Yeah.
When you think about simple living in terms of faith, what do you think about?
Well, so for me, growing up, simple living to our family and to our church family meant really spending a lot of time together, a lot of meals together, a lot of play together, a lot of church together, just doing things with like-minded people, not really seeking out a bunch of what they would have called worldly things, like not going to a bunch of events and this and that, but not having excessive amounts of stuff. Just in general, just doing life with those people and not being extravagant, I guess. Not extravagant in the way you dress or the things you do or what you have, essentially.
I got it.
What about you?
The same. It really wasn't talked about all that much. Where
oh yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say we talked about it. I'm just saying that is kind of how the living was.
Yeah, and I think for us, like, I don't know, it was more like, it was probably tied more to like the ways that you acted, like, just keep it simple. You know what I mean? It was more theological. It was more like your beliefs and things like that. It's probably how it showed up. Now, I mean, our family, I come from a lower middle class working family, so we live simply because that's how we live, living within your means, right?
Fair.
And that to me is the challenge, right? Is simple living looks different depending on where you are, who you are, what your culture around you is.
True.
Especially as times have continued to change. And some things that were extravagant a generation ago are no longer extravagant.
That's true. That's very true.
I mean, 50 years ago, having a TV in your home would have been extravagant. Like I think my grandfather, like the idea of having like a TV. Mm-hmm. Now, if you look at somebody and they're like, yeah, we have a TV, even if somebody said we had multiple TVs, we don't call that extravagant. Mm-hmm. Yeah, is that because extravagance changed? I don't know. What changed?
That's actually an excellent question, because if you look at the Old Order and the Amish community specifically, they really have not changed in that regard. They have pretty well remained the same in how they feel about those extravagant things, or worldly things, as you would call them. Mm-hmm. So I think, we've talked a little bit more about how the Anabaptist community has evolved in some way from that time when everybody was a lot more similar across all the Anabaptist circles.
Right.
So I think some folks have evolved, right, wrong, or otherwise, to, I don't want to say conform as much, but to accept more of the worldly things that for the longest time were absolutely not allowed. How that came about, exactly how that happened, I don't have a good answer. But we've also talked about how it's gone even further than that into not even biblical Anabaptism.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And that to me is like that's the interesting part for me, right? Yeah. Is there's a point of simple living, and there's a point to like legalism, and like, so one of the interesting things about like even early Brethren meeting houses wouldn't have had steeples on them, because a steeple was a way of showing, it was not simple. It was it was a way of marking yourselves, differently.
And I know, like for me, for example, growing up, one thing that was very frowned upon was any type of jewelry, because that was seen as extravagant. And
tell them
what, my argument?
Yeah, tell them do it.
Okay, all right. So I was, being a pastor's kid, I was very
rebellious.
Okay, all right, rebellious in a way.
You had the Jezebel spirit.
So anyway, a lot of the legalistic things that I was a kid, right? And I was like, I need good reasons for this. And so we were on vacation one year, and I decided to buy this ring. It had little waves on it. I just thought it was cool looking. I wanted to wear a ring. Well,
sinner.
Exactly. So I started wearing this ring, and I wore it to church against my parents' wishes, Anyway, they had to deal with a lot of things from what I did, but that's a whole nother story. And they were like, there's a lot of people upset about your rings. And I was like, well, who is it? I want to know who it is. And they named some of the people. All of them that I can think of are no longer living. However, one of the women they named always wore like a pin or a brooch or, something on her plain dress. And I was like, how is her putting that on her dress any different than me putting the ring on my finger? And there was no good answer for that.
Like, what was the answer?
There's not a good answer for it. So I continued to wear my ring and spike my hair and do a lot of other things. But there were a lot of...
What do you think it's like?
Yeah.
Like if you like... anyway.
So, I mean, so in my mind, I can see how the simple living thing has evolved to a certain point where it's like, okay, at some point where we're making rules just to make rules.
Right.
They're not biblical rules.
Right.
So
right.
We're moving past that.
So at its heart, simple living, I pulled a couple of those passages. Like,
okay.
At its heart, simple living is kind of two passages. First, Matthew chapter 6, don't worry about what you're going to eat or what you're going to wear.
Mm-hmm, sure.
Store up all your treasures in heaven.
Sure.
Right. And then the one people might not know as much is 1 Timothy chapter 6, verses 6-8. But godliness with contentment is great gain, for we brought nothing into this world and we can take nothing out of it. But we have food and clothing, we will be content with that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so those are good things. Like, the basis of simple living is the less that you have, the less you have to distract you from Jesus.
True.
Like that's at its core, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that if you don't have all of these other things to tend to, you have more time to devote to Scripture, you have more time to devote to Jesus. And if you're not spending your money on extravagant things, then you have more money to be generous towards the church and towards those less fortunate to you. And in practice, I agree with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
100%.
That makes perfect sense.
Right. But, like, is you wearing a wave ring?
Exactly.
Now, I would argue, is you wearing a wave ring cool? That's a different story.
Man, we're talking like 30 years ago, bro. It was definitely cool.
Okay, whatever you say.
Definitely.
I'll believe you.
And I argued that my hair was spiked.
We're going to need photographic
Wait till
evidence.
you hear that.
I need to see.
Oh, dude, I got photographic evidence of all this.
We need to put this on the.
Okay, done.
Page. But anyway,
okay, we'll do it.
But is that really what we're getting at? That
No.
You can't serve Jesus and wear jewelry? No, but if you are wearing jewelry in such a way that it is bringing more attention to yourself, or it is trying to make yourself look more beautiful,
certainly,
then that's different. To me, there's a difference in a lady who is like pouring on the diamonds and the rubies and all the things just to make herself look like she is prettier, or make it look like she has different social status.
Yes, exactly.
And my wife, who has a ring that she has that was made out of her grandmother's spoon.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, she's not at all trying to say anything about herself. She is connecting herself to her ancestry and that's very different, right? I wear a cross necklace every day, like, and most time you probably don't even see it because it's tucked behind my shirt.
True,
but it's like a reminder for me, right? And it's tiny. It's like what, an inch, 2 inches, maybe.
Yeah, it's not very big.
It's on a very basic like. That's very different than someone who's wearing extravagant amounts of jewelry.
Like somebody who has like a diamond grill on their teeth.
Oh, dude, you knew I got a grill?
When did you get a grill? I'm going to have to see the grill.
Yeah, it's like my
Is it diamonds or is it cubic zirconia?
Oh, no, it's diamonds, dog.
Right, yeah, that definitely doesn't fit, bro.
No.
If it's cubic zirconia.
Or any of those things, right? So another thing is like houses, right? Traditionally, Anabaptists would live in very plain houses, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that is true.
Yeah.
It's very true and wonderful. I would argue that you and we live in pretty plain houses,
relatively plain,
right? Like for what we could, not what we could have, but what the world would say.
Sure,
right? Your house is a lot nicer than mine, honestly, because it's new. You built it, right? Your house is how old?
6 years. Holy cow!
Okay,
6
your
years
house
old.
is 6 years old. My house was built in the 1800s.
I mean, your house is pretty stinking cool, though, in my opinion.
Right. But they're not like in the world standards. They're not
extravagant,
right?
For sure.
But I bet you, if you were to ask some of our more plain brothers and sisters, they would say,
"Oh, Well, yeah, absolutely. They would say that that they're extravagant.
Yeah.
Especially because we have garages.
Yes. Where things go to die.
Or get fixed
Eventually.
and brought back from death.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah, that's what we do. Just anyway, there's another story about that. Anyway,
that'll be on the after hours content.
That's the after hours content. But so you kind of have, because the other side's like, I struggle with this. I would much rather have lots of, like, when it comes to appliances, even when it comes to cars, I want less things, because my theory is the more things something has, the more it is to break.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so, like, when Jess and I bought our car, it came with all sorts of options I actually didn't want.
Sure.
But it's
they all
kinda,
do now.
Yeah, they all do.
Yeah.
And so how do you embrace simple living while also understanding that as the world progresses, there are things that we kind of have to do if you're going to exist in the world? I don't know. Do you wrestle with that sometimes?
Maybe in some senses. I mean, I'm not going to lie. There have been times where I have actually looked at, there's a lot of old order Mennonites in Rockingham County.
Yes.
And so it's not that unusual, especially when you're on the south end of the county, to see horse and buggies, or to see somebody riding their tractor down the road, something like that. And I look and I'm like, I think life would actually be better sometimes.
Oh, absolutely.
Like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get your point in that sense, that in order for us to, I guess, not keep up, but just to maintain the same functionality in the world. Like, you can't just, like, you have cars now, to just stop having a car in this area becomes a lot more difficult. You're not used to having horses and having a horse and buggy. It's not like you can just switch and go back to that. So if you need to replace a car, yeah, you're going to have to get the stuff you don't necessarily want or need because it comes with it.
Right.
So I get that point. And yeah, I mean,
well, and even like think even more, this is not a simple living thing, but like, so my mother-in-law wanted to buy a refrigerator a couple years ago.
Oh, okay, sure.
My mother,
for sure.
Yeah, my mother-in-law did not want an ice maker on the door. She just doesn't like it.
Yeah.
She had to special order this refrigerator, and it cost her more money.
Oh, I absolutely believe that.
Right? And so, like, even to embrace some of that stuff, like, it costs, it's really hard when you think about it, right?
I thought you were going to say she didn't want to connect her appliances to the Wi-Fi.
Oh,
because now they almost all come with Wi-Fi capability.
Right. And so how do you, like, how do we as a society, like, it's really hard.
Very, 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 very true. Very true.
Yeah.
And, I mean, maybe that is how we got to this point. Some Anabaptists, probably somewhere along the way, were like, okay, we're gonna accept this. It's not against the scriptures.
Yeah. Yeah.
To have, a car that has lane assist or
yeah, for me, it's just personal preference.
Yeah. No, and it doesn't go against the scriptures to have your appliances connected to Wi-Fi. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
all that stuff. It's like, okay, I mean, yeah, it's not really simple. It actually makes life more complicated.
Absolutely.
But I don't have to use it. I don't have to. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
it's really interesting. I'll see if I can find it. I read an article it's probably been 2 years ago now, about like line in the sand in technology. And like where each generation like drew the line in the sand and said, okay, this is as far as we're going.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? And they were talking about like for most of our grandparents, it was like the internet. Like this, where some will use it, but a lot of them are just like, nope, I'm just not doing that. I'm too old to learn it.
Yeah.
Not trying to do it. And then, like they were talking about like for our generation, we're starting to see a little bit on social media that people start to draw a line in the sand and being like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
It's gotten to an unhealthy level. And so it was a really interesting article. But all that to say.
Yeah, I'm curious, where's your line? I know where my line is on social, like Snapchat. I will never have Snapchat.
Yeah, I
absolutely not.
I tried Snapchat for a little bit because we had a son that was on it, and I just wanted to see what was up and what he would, and like I deleted it, and I was like, nah, we good.
Yeah, for me, that's where my line is.
Yeah,
the old, and Facebook, I have for Marketplace. So
yeah. And anyway, that could be a whole other podcast.
I know that could be
a whole other podcast,
because sometimes when I'm looking at Marketplace, I'm not really thinking simple living.
Amen, brother.
Looking to get stuff.
Amen.
So
amen.
I'm guilty there.
And so again, so if simple living at the core of it is to declutter our lives for Jesus, well, that's a whole different conversation to me, right?
It is.
Because simple living can almost become more like how you live, what you accumulate, but you can have little stuff, but still not live simply when you think about it.
It's true.
Right? You could have less stuff, but still like have lots of commitments and the stuff you have, you know, that's something that we have to think about too. You know what I mean?
You know, I even think of simple living in the way that you eat. I mean, like growing up, like going out to eat was a very special occasion type thing, or you know, but now, I mean, shoot, we almost go out to eat every Sunday. Right. So I mean, that kind of doesn't really fit the simple living.
It doesn't,
in my opinion. So
what I'm hearing you saying is we should have
somebody cook all of us, because that's how it used to go.
Yeah, we just go everybody's house.
Dude,
I'd be down.
I'm absolutely down.
We have some amazing cooks in our friend group. We would eat better, and we would save money.
Would we eat better? I mean, it would taste better. I don't know if it'd be healthier.
Yes, I'm saying like.
Oh, okay,
all
right. I thought you were saying healthier. I'm like, no.
It would taste better than what we have a lot of times, especially because there's like 22 of us that roll up into those restaurants.
That's true.
So our food's never like.
That's true.
Anyway, so if you're part of our friend group, listen to this. We're coming to your house for dinner.
Yep.
We just pulled the old Zacchaeus.
It's happening.
Right. And so, and it does, like, so Mary and Martha, right? Like Mary, who, you know, spent her time at the feet of Jesus. Martha, who was so busy doing all the things. They lived in the same house. They had the same possessions. They had the same things, right? It's just one of them was obsessed with doing, right? So it's not like we can just say, well, just get rid of all your stuff and now you can live simply. Like, it is a mindset too. And so I think you can have more things and still live with us, you know, and some of that is a choice, you know. Go ahead.
I was going to say, it definitely depends on who you are as your personality too, as to what simple living actually is for you. So
yeah. Well, and we talked about this too, like the other week when we were talking about biblical authority, we were talking about discerning in Scripture, like because of the community aspect, right? If we all have a commitment to living simply, then it kind of puts everybody on the same playing field too. That's the other thing about simple living, right? Is like right now, if tomorrow somebody in our church went out and bought like a brand new 2026 Ford, you know, Platinum or King Ranch truck and pulled up in the parking lot, people gonna notice. They're going, you know, and not that it would necessarily change their status. It might in some people's eyes, right? But it would definitely, like, it would catch some attention, and you'd be able to be like, oh, like, let's say it was you. People are like, here comes Jeremy in his truck, like, it kind of, you know. Whereas now, like, all the cars in our church, they all kind of look the same.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty
standard.
Yeah,
you know,
too exciting.
Yeah, nothing too crazy, right? If we were getting ready to go, you know, somewhere on a trip, you know, and somebody pulled up and they just had, you know, all the brand new travel accessories and all the things, you know,
the Louis Vuitton bags,
right? You know, and so there's a part of it that also like reminds us that when we embrace simple living, it really does help us fit into the community, and we're trying to keep that togetherness and not, you know, not be extravagant to push ourselves above the other. I don't know. That's a piece of it too, I think.
Yeah, and you know, there's a lot of people, especially around here in this area, because there are a lot of Mennonites in this area specifically that have a lot of wealth. Most of them, if you met them, you would not know that they have a lot of wealth. They're not driving around in the Mercedes, and they're not living in a house that's, you know, got gold plated, whatever. You know, they're still committed to simple living. So simple living doesn't mean, like you said, that you can't have things or you can't have money. It just means you're still focused on Jesus, and you're focused on doing what Jesus wants with what you have.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of people get hung up. The more you have, the more you want, the more there's greed, and the further you get away from Jesus. So that's where the simple living, in my opinion,
Yeah. Well, it
Fits.
reminds you of the person in Scripture who comes up to Jesus. I forget the entire story, but the guy comes up to Jesus and he's like, "Hey, I want to follow you. Just let me go bury my mom, or let me go bury my dad." And Jesus is like, "Nah, if you're gonna follow me, you're gonna follow me."
Yeah.
Right. And like we all like, what would it look like if tomorrow Jesus was like, "John, I want you to go to Africa and be a missionary." Man, it would take me a little bit just to get all my affairs in order, right?
Yeah,
Sell my house, figure out something like sell my cars, just liquidate whatever I would have to do. Or it should tell you everything about the world we live in. Like, how many self-storage places pop up?
Yeah.
Because people have so much stuff, they actually can't even keep it in their houses anymore.
That's true.
And so they end up buying these storage lockers that they're putting stuff. Dude, they're everywhere.
You're right. They are everywhere.
Right? And so, like,
it's a good point.
If somebody, like, if Jesus looked at you tomorrow and he was like, "Hey, you need to hit the mission field," and that's an extreme case. I know I'm playing the extreme case here, but if that's what he said, like,
but it's happened,
right?
I'm sure we could find somebody that has.
Oh, absolutely.
That.
So how long would it take us to untether ourselves from the world to go do that? I mean, it would take me months. I figure it would probably take me months.
Yeah, I mean, I would think so too. Yeah, I mean.
Right. And so, well, like, and so then you start going like, okay, and like for me, like, I'll tell you, like, for me, it's cars, right? Like, I'm a car guy, so I like having cars. And there are times I do it. Like, I get a little guilty. I'm like, I probably don't need all these cars, right? I probably don't need all these cars.
But then when only one of them's running, it's like, man, I'm really glad I have all these cars.
That's the sad
only
thing.
One runs right now.
That's the sad thing. Because, like, not that that's happening, though, right now. But, you know what I mean? Like, but there's that, and that's that point of, where is the line between simple living and necessity and where your heart is? Because no, if you were to look at my cars, like, if we don't have luxury. I mean, one person was like, "Man, you got like 5 cars, 6 cars." I'm like, yeah, but if you add them all up, they actually don't equal the value of your one.
Don't equal the value of your one car.
But you know what I mean? Like, that's something that I personally wrestle with.
Yeah.
From time to time, right?
And no, I get that.
Yeah. Or even, tools. Like, do I really? You and I have had that conversation about, like, perusing Facebook Marketplace.
Yep.
And you're like, oh, man, that's such a nice. Do I really, like, need that? Or how does that work? Yeah.
And, it all depends. It all depends on what you're doing with what you have. Like you said, to anybody, that it could seem like you having 5 cars is not simple living. However, when you're working on those cars with your friends or with whoever, I mean, you could be talking about life. You could be talking about, a God story, a Jesus did this for me. Like it's all those opportunities to be with people to share Jesus.
Yeah.
Same thing. If you have a really, really, really nice old classic car, you're going to car shows. You could be sharing Jesus there. So there's no one specific thing we can say.
Right.
Is not simple living. It's really, is your heart living simply?
Unless you have the Wi-Fi toilet. I'm gonna say that's over. That's over the top. The Wi-Fi toilet.
I got to call Tara. We got to cancel that order.
The Wi-Fi. That's.
I didn't even know there was a Wi-Fi.
Oh, absolutely.
What's it do?
A friend of mine does like high level, like plumbing.
Yeah.
And they have like a Wi-Fi toilet, so you can, like, when you're going to go do your business.
Yeah.
You can get on and, like, heat the seat to your right liking.
Go ahead and warm the water for the bidet.
It's got a bidet, right?
I have not heard this.
Dude, it's crazy. It's got
I have not heard this.
Bluetooth speaker. Like, you can listen to music. So, like, okay, that's...
Listen, have you tried it?
No, I haven't.
Okay, could be amazing.
I can't afford to sit on it.
Could be amazing.
I don't have yeah. Anyway.
I'm not drawing the line there.
Okay.
Not going to do it.
So here's the question.
Okay.
What is one thing that each of us, not just us, everybody listening to this podcast, is there one thing this week that you can get out of the way to focus on Jesus more?
Excellent. That's an excellent question.
Yeah, just one thing.
Think about that.
Something small. You can get out of the way to focus on Jesus more. That's the heart of the question. Instead of, like, running off, it'd be easy to be like, okay, well, now I just need to go sell all my stuff, or just one thing. What is one thing that gets in between you and being able to spend time with Jesus?
Yeah.
And saying,
you don't have to go sell your entire Beanie Baby collection.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah.
I
just want to make sure you knew.
I saw a quote, just this is kind of related. I'm rereading, if you haven't read, The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry But
You've talked about it, but
dude, I'm rereading it right now.
You know, I don't know how to read.
I know. But there, in there, it says, it is impossible to follow Jesus with a hurried soul.
I think you've told me that quote before.
And like, I am spending so much time like just trying to figure out like what needs to get out of my life. So I'm not, it's one thing to be in a hurry. The book talks about it. You can be in a hurry and you can be rushed sometimes.
Yeah.
But a hurried soul is a state of being. Like you're always behind, or you're always feeling rushed, or you always have another commitment. I live my life that way, and I know I do.
Yeah.
And so that's
definitely something for everybody to think about, because
yep,
a lot of us kind of fit that.
There's a reason we're recording this podcast at 2:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah, that's true.
So, all right, buddy. Well, I hope you have a good week.
I plan on it. I hope you do as well.
Oh, well, see you when you get back from Indiana.
Whoop, whoop.
All right, y'all have a good week.
Later.
Thanks again for tuning in to Life on 11. We hope today's discussion gave you something powerful to think about and apply to your walk with Christ. If you enjoyed the conversation, the best way you can support the show is to share, like, and comment wherever you listen to your podcasts. And don't forget to connect with us. You can find us on Facebook or TikTok by searching for Life on 11 Podcast. We love seeing your comments and hearing how these episodes are impacting your life. Remember, keep turning up the volume on faith and kingdom living.